Welcome to Stampede Your Business. Stampede.
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 Stampede your business.
Welcome to the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have some craziness in store for you? Okay, it's not craziness. It's business. We're getting down to business today.
This is the real solid business part of business.
This is the really gross, gruesome stuff that people don't do that they should if they want to be successful. This is what makes and breaks the successful from the wannabes, the people that wish they could have a successful business is because they don't do this kind of stuff. So, okay, I have forewarned them. Brett, tell us about the show. What are we talking about today?
So as you heard last week, we already talked about designing and creating systems. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into your systems creation.
Deeper into systems.
Deeper into systems.
Deep dive.
Systems can be sexy.
Can they? Really?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to hear this. Sexy systems. You heard it from Brett. The systems are sexy.
So we're going to jump in. We're going to talk about the different kinds of systems, what a system is, and what you're going to be using your systems for, really.
Very good. Very good. So, systems. A set of things, actions, ideas, and information that interacts with each other and in so doing, alter other systems. Everything is a system. I think that's
Everything
interesting.
is a system.
Everything. We were just talking that eating a hamburger is a system. I'm like, I'm laughing about that or whatever. And then I say, oh, so you turn it this way and then you turn it twice and you turn it this way. And Brett, you're like, no, dude, you eat one side, you eat the other side, then you eat the middle piece. I mean, that's just how you do it.
That's how you eat.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing that for my entire life. And I never thought about that being a system, but it is. You don't want crap on your cheek, dude. So you eat one side, then you turn the other, then you do the middle. That's how you eat a sandwich, a hamburger, anything.
Yep. That's how you put stuff in your mouth. You move it around to get the part that's sticking out the most. And
maybe a hoagie's different because it only has 2 bites.
You go back and forth. It's a different system. It's still a system, though. And it depends on how big the bread is. Because if you've got one of those 6-foot sandwiches from
wherever those places, all of those places that don't pay us money to sponsor, so we're not going to say who they are.
And you're going to have a bigger, fatter piece. So maybe you still take 3 bites out of that.
Yeah, and I think that the point here is that everything is a system.
Everything. But
are you using the system or are you just doing what the system is? And the power is making the system yours.
Oh, yeah.
As a business owner, if you, instead of let it kind of drive itself and the system figure itself out, you are not going to be as powerful. You're not going to be as successful as if you focus on how to create the system.
Well, and really what it comes down to, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this when we get into information and benchmarks systems, but what it comes down to is being able to track your activity to determine where you're losing productivity, where you're wasting your investment of time and money.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime that you can trim down the fat, anytime that you can trim off the waste, then you're actually using your system appropriately.
Absolutely. And even the definition, set of things, actions, ideas, and information that interact with each other and in so doing alter other systems. This is the key, and this is where I'm saying if you don't pay attention to those top pieces, you don't know what you're altering down below. You could be making things harder, making clients push away clients. I mean, you just don't know. If you're not controlling the systems, they'll be controlling you, and it may not be in a positive way.
Well, and this is the science of running a business. The scientific method is all about you have an idea, Iteration. Well, I was going through the scientific process, the actual process. So you have an idea, you write down what you think the idea is going to produce, you write down your steps, and you act out the steps, and then you see if it produced what you wanted it to produce. And if it didn't produce what you wanted it to produce, then you can go back and you look through the steps to see, did anything go wrong there? Or is there somewhere that I can tweak it to get the result that I want? And that's basically science. That's what science does. That's what science is. Science is awesome. And science is there to help us make sense of our world, but it also guides us
moving forward
to make more, better, awesome. Everything more, better, awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
We make food better. We make cars better. We make computers better, all through the power of science.
Absolutely. So with that said, what kinds of systems are there?
So there's three basic kinds of systems. So there's your hard systems, soft systems, and information systems. So the hard systems, well, and actually the soft systems actually include the information systems. So the soft systems include selling systems, PowerPoint selling processes, and your information systems. Let's get that straight. I don't want to misguide you or take you down the wrong path.
Don't take you down the wrong road.
Don't get lost, Toto.
Yes, Toto. So let's start with hard systems then. What is a hard system? What does that mean?
Well, hard system by definition is anything that you can touch, anything you can see, anything that you experience in the physical realm. So when I think of a hard system, I think of a brick and mortar store. So if you've got a brick and mortar store, the building itself is a hard system. What do you want your system to look like? What do you want your building to look like? And what do you want people to feel when they walk into that building? So you're thinking about the ambiance, everything that you're putting into the ambiance. When you go to a restaurant, they don't have empty blank walls and they don't have random pictures put up somewhere. Every single picture that they have put up on the walls is chosen for a specific intent to create the ambiance that they want you to experience. And if they don't, then they're probably not going to get beyond the mom and pop restaurant phase.
So like if you're wearing a shirt with your logo on it, that's a hard system.
That's a hard system. Very simple.
It's easy.
Yeah.
How important are hard systems? I guess if you have a brick and mortar and you don't have brick and mortar, then that's not good. If you're selling something out of your trunk.
Well, hard systems is all about your brand. It's what you look like. It's how people perceive you. And the experience that people have when they do business with you.
The experience.
It's about the experience. It's always about the experience.
But that's a hard
system. That
system.
is a hard system.
Oh, interesting.
Well, and the experience itself isn't the hard system, but the hard system drives the experience. So when you put a picture up on your website, that picture is a hard system because your customers can see it and they're interacting with it. And so that's a hard system.
What about a blog?
Yeah.
They're interacting with the blog. They're reading it.
They're reading the blog. Whether or not you blog, that's a hard system. And how you blog is a hard system.
Got it. Interesting. Okay. Soft system then. What the heck is a soft system?
So the soft systems are things that you act. It's how you act. It's how you behave in your business.
First thing on here says selling. Selling system.
Yep.
That's the first soft system is a selling system.
Oh, yeah.
And what does that look like?
So
identification of specific benchmarks.
Well, and right now I'm looking at this PowerPoint, this list that we have, and what it doesn't go into is the service systems. So everything that we pulled off of eMyth has been put into eMyth specifically about selling your product, selling your business. But there's also systems for providing services as well. So the selling system includes identifying the specific benchmarks. So what are you shooting for? What kind of sales numbers are you looking at? And how is that going to affect?
Need benchmarks.
You need benchmarks.
If you want to understand how well your business is doing.
Well, and for example, we're talking about creating $1 million business. And hopefully you that are listening to us get excited about that idea of creating $1 million business for yourself.
And we're in the middle of it right now with Stampede Digital Systems.
And that's exactly what we're doing.
This whole podcast, all of the stuff that we are looking at and doing, we are using it as a test bed to see if this works. So at the end of this year, if Stampede is doing $1 million, then you should probably go back and listen to every episode of this podcast
over and over again until you get it figured out. Yes. That's right.
Because it will proof is in the pudding.
So in order for us to determine what that looks like for Stampede, we've sat down and we said, okay, how many sales of what services are we going to need in order to prove ourselves $1 million business?
Over and over again. Yes, we
have to be able to generate so many sales every single month in order to become $1 million business. Now we've got the front end income, we've got the back end income too. So we've got both options.
And it's not crazy. It's not a crazy goal.
Not at all.
This is not unattainable.
Well, I'd have to say that's the best part of having a benchmark though, is because you can actually see it.
Like, wait a minute.
Whether or not this is really possible. What's it going to take to do that?
Wait a minute. We have 100 people paying us $800 and something a month. That's $1 million a year. That doesn't sound crazy. 100 people, if you could figure out a way to get 100 people to pay you $1,000 a month, you're making over $1 million a year.
Yep.
That is not insane or hard. Really.
No.
I mean, people do it all the time.
Yeah. People do it all the time. And if you've got salespeople that are working for you and they're getting, so one salesperson can make an income of over $100,000 with with our basic sales.
You're talking about ours?
Yeah,
with Stampede
with our
Digital
basic sales
Systems.
site. Yeah, with our basic sales site, we've got the $500 site.
Yes,
and for every $500 site, which right now we're trimming back that price.
300
to 300. So we keep 100. We pay our producer 100, and we pay our sales guy 100. And so if they just need 10 of those a month, and they've got 1,000 a month, right?
That they're making.
That they're making, and hopefully they're not just selling those.
And
but
that's the lowest thing you can do.
That's the lowest. And when if they're upgrading that and adding other services onto that. So an upgrade would be the full sales site, which they get $500 off of that.
Right. We did some numbers with that. Me and Troy were playing with the numbers, and if somebody was just a kicking butt sales guy with the numbers that we came up with, they could make upwards of $300,000 a year. Dude, that is an insane.
It's entirely possible.
No education, no nothing. Just go in there and sell it.
And we built this company so that
Anybody
that really is entirely possible.
Yep.
That's what we want. That's what we want for our sales folks. We want to be able to pay people awesomely for the awesome work that they do.
Yeah.
And you get to look under the hood here. We get the same amount as what our salespeople are getting. So if we have one salesperson that's making $300,000 a year, and
then Stampede's making $300,000.
Then Stampede's making $300,000 a year.
But if we have 10,
then we've got $3 million.
A lot more. It's too late for me to do math today. It's my birthday. I don't do math on my birthday.
Okay, well, I'll
because I forgot how old I was. I'm an ancient man now.
We have to forget math on our birthdays sometimes, don't we?
Yeah. But anyway, and you won't know. It is very cool to play with these numbers, and I get that a lot of times when you're starting a business, you're throwing numbers out. You don't know. You're guessing. I mean, we all know you can't go to an investor and say, "Hey, this is my projections." That anybody can project anything, but for you, it's a powerful tool for you to look at and go, wow, if I just keep on track, I can very easily do this, this, and this. And then you watch the metrics and you see if it happens.
Yep. And so our goal with Stampede to make it to that $1 million mark is to bring on more and more salespeople. And eventually the goal is to even open that up to affiliates.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's a powerful opportunity there.
So then we don't have
affiliate
10,
market.
We have
hundreds. Yeah,
or hundreds.
Or hundreds. And if we have 500 salespeople that are even mediocre, and they're only getting 60,000 a year, then that's 100 times 60,000. That's still $6 million.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy how fast you can get into your projected numbers and into your projected goals just by opening up your doors and seeing how you can help other people, how you can improve the lives of other people in doing this work. So we want to make it easy for our sales folks, and that's why we have selling systems. So after the benchmarks are figured out, then we go through scripting. We look at the words that we're going to use to create success. And we've talked about that a lot. We're very specific about, we say sales site. We don't use
say
website.
Yes.
We avoid the term website as much as possible.
Create our own language.
That's right. We will only use the word website to kind of bridge the gap between, so that people understand what we're talking about.
Yep.
But sales sites is what we do. We create sales sites.
I love that when we do that, because when we say sales site, it's not a website, it's a sales site. They immediately go to, well, what? Then what's the difference? And I love it because it opens us up
for a
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool when you start to create your own, and you can't do that without understanding the processes and the systems that you have in place. You can't make up that stuff.
No, no, you can't. But you really can make a difference if you know what you're talking about, especially when it comes down to scripting.
Yep.
So then you create the various types of sales material. So sales material, that's going to be your brochures. It's going to be your online. Like the pricing
sales site blueprint that we send out people.
Is that a sales material?
I think so. Even though it is information and it's powerful information, I still think that it is a selling tool because it shows that we know what we're doing.
It's definitely a selling tool. And I would agree with you that it's a sales material, because when people go through the blueprint, they are prepared to get our services, and actually they can take that information. We hand that off to our designer, and our designer creates something awesome with that information. So it really is. It is part of the sales process. Now they can choose
to just go and use it and do it on their own,
right? But
that's how you get know, like, and trust, by giving people real information that they actually can use. You'll be surprised if that person goes off and uses it, they were never going to be your client no matter what you did anyway.
Yeah.
And now you've maybe helped somebody.
Which is cool.
It is cool.
Cool. That's a great way to do business.
Yeah.
And I lost my train of thought, but let's keep on going.
Memorization of each benchmark script.
So then there's so my wife, she works in sales. She up until the COVID-19 canceled all of the events. She used to go to events and she talked to people, and they had a sales script. And before she could get her first promotion, she was told that she had to memorize the script, and she had to pass off the script to her manager. Now, when she's in a sales conversation, she's not going to talk and act like a robot, but the script provides a cadence of conversation. It provides a direction of information for the conversation.
Right.
And it provides information that if you know the script well, then you're able to pull that information out as needed as the conversation moves in that direction. So sales scripts are really powerful. It's not about repeating the sales script verbatim, although a well-written sales script can really be used verbatim in a lot of cases. But it's more about knowing your sales process and the material that you're using to
delivery of each script in identical fashion. So that's kind of the reason for memorizing it is so everybody understands exactly what they're saying.
Yeah, and if all of your salespeople are doing the same thing, are following the same script,
you know if something works or not, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you're not getting the results you want, then you know that you need to go back to the drawing board and rewrite your script.
Yep.
So it's a powerful tool.
leaving your people to communicate with and engage each and every prospect. What does that mean to you?
So we're talking about this as a selling system. So the selling system has all of these different steps, and each of these steps is a system in and of itself. But the system is following that pattern. Identify the benchmarks, script the words, create the sales material, have your salespeople memorize them, then have them use the script in conversation with people. And if you've done all of those things, then you can actually walk away,
let them go,
and let them lead the business or lead the sales experience.
You've given them the process. You've taught them the process. They have connected and owned the process. Now you just let them go do the work.
So this is actually, in a way, we just went over your training system.
Yep.
This is how you train your sales folks.
Yep.
And you just got a bonus right there. Boom.
Bam.
So the next process or system is a PowerPoint selling process. And so in a lot of businesses, very much like ours, so in our business we do this as well. We have a process where we meet with our potential clients first, and then we arrange from that first meeting an actual sales meeting, a sales appointment. And so the sales appointment is going to follow a PowerPoint sales process of some sort. So we're going through the appointment presentation.
This is to see if they're a good fit, if we're a good fit.
That's right. And then we do an assessment to determine what their needs their needs are. Troy has been actually working like a boss on creating an assessment for our sales process. And it right now it's looking amazing. It's awesome. I'm really excited about what's going to come out of that. And we have an all hands meeting even tomorrow night that we're going to be spending a huge amount of focus on getting this assessment to solution conversation right.
Yeah.
And that's something that you need to do with your business. You need to spend some time to figure out what your sales process is. Do you have multiple steps in your sales process, or is it just a one and done? And if it's multiple steps, what do those steps look like, and what kind of information are you conveying as you are moving up that ladder, as you're moving the prospect up that sales ladder?
Yeah. Oh, I like it. All right. Information systems.
So once you have all of your sales, once you've gone through your sales process, you've trained your people, they're doing your stuff, you've got the sales process, it still is bupkis if you don't have a way of tracking it. What's the point of having a benchmark if you don't know if you've met your benchmark?
Correct. Doesn't matter.
And
it's useless without the metrics of the bench of the information.
Well, and what's the point in having your sales representatives do the same thing over and over and over again if you don't know if it's working or not?
Right.
There's no point.
Correct.
So you have information systems that are set up to follow those benchmarks to figure out whether or not it's working.
So those information systems is what puts in place and lets you know if the hardware systems and the hard systems and soft systems, I come from that background, are working. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And what are those? It's a big list. We're just going to hit through them and move on to next week.
Okay. We're ready.
Yeah.
So you need to know how many calls were made.
Yep.
Every sales call has to be tracked and numbered. How many prospects were reached? So now you can start figuring out how many prospects are you getting out of your sales calls.
So you look at that as you've got leads coming in. You take these leads, however many calls turn into prospects, then you know if those leads are any good or not.
That's right. So that's right. You know if those leads are any good.
Yeah.
Or if you're following up on those leads and you need to fix your process with those leads too. There's other things there that you can consider.
Because maybe you get a bunch of prospects and these are really good prospects, but you don't get appointments, which is the next piece.
Yeah.
How many appointments do you get? If you get tons of prospects, but you're not getting appointments, then something's broken there. And you can see that because you're using this system.
And you can figure that out. And so then how many appointments were confirmed? How many appointments were held? Now all of these numbers, they don't have to be a completely separate interaction. All of these numbers can run together. So for example, how many appointments were scheduled, confirmed, and held? Well, you may make the appointment and confirm it in the same conversation because the appointment is less than a week away. And we're just going to meet with you on that appointment day.
Now, I want to just say something here real quickly. This sounds, oh my gosh, this sounds like a lot of work.
Sounds tedious.
This sounds like a lot of stuff. But truthfully, any CRM out there will keep track of all of this stuff.
If you have a good CRM and you're using it.
Now, if you don't know what a CRM is, customer relationship management software.
I didn't know what it was before I met you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is where you put the information in with potential clients. So if you have leads, you put that in there and then you track what happens with that lead. And this is where all of this stuff comes into play. Every CRM out there, even really low end, really cost cheap ones, will do everything that we're talking about right now.
That's what CRMs are for, right?
Yeah, to keep track of the process with a potential client.
Yeah, and so then you've got
the
CRM itself will act as your information system as long as you're actually using it.
Yep.
So whatever CRM you have, whatever CRM that you are considering, just make sure that you use it. Don't just set it up and leave it. Because when you don't enter the numbers, when you don't enter the information, it only takes a few seconds to enter the information. And I've been in sales roles where people complain. They say, "Hey, you know what? I don't want to have to track all my numbers because if I track all my numbers, then that's less time that I have to make sales." But it's been proven over and 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 over again that the sales representatives that track their numbers always do better.
Yep.
So we want to know how many assessments were presented. How many assessments were confirmed, how many assessments were completed, and how many solutions presentations did you get out of those assessments? How many solutions presentations were actually confirmed and completed? And ultimately, how many solutions were sold? So Stampede Digital Systems, we have various different solution options. And we partner with a lot of different specialists that kind of work hand in hand in our field. And so we get to offer many different solutions without actually having to be the point man on filling those solutions. But every solution means different dollars in our pocket, and it's also different dollars out of our customers' pockets. And so the next question is, what is the average dollar value for those solutions?
So, and with that too, you can see where you're at. Are you charging too much? Or why is the really high cost one selling more or low? I mean, you really get to see pricing structure and if it's working, if it's not working, and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, and shoot, if you've got the high price thing that's selling better than the low price thing, then you're probably doing a good job.
You're doing a good job. That's a horrible problem to have.
That's a horrible problem to have.
Well, cool. This is okay. Systems, guys. This is the kind of the beginning of you just figuring something out. So hard systems, soft systems, and information systems. You've got to have those three, and these are work on your business type of things, not in your business. And people will say, I don't have time for that. If you don't have time for this, then your company won't grow. It's that simple. Last words?
Just make sure that you take the time to figure out your systems and make them work.
Absolutely. All right, this has been another episode of Stampede Your Business. Now get out there and go make some difference, go change some stuff and do some things and get your business rolling.
Make your millions!
Make your millions. You've been listening to Stampede Your Business. Stampede.
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 Stampede Your Business.